Hello, everyone, and welcome to Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee. We are proud to present the State Amateur Baseball Tournament live on PrepSpotlight.tv. Our first matchup this Saturday morning is, by the way, that's Mike Max, WCCO, throwing out the first pitch. Good to see Mike, Gaylord native out there. Our first matchup this Saturday morning in the Class B bracket, we've got the East Grand Forks Mass traveling down to take on the Northfield Knights. And the Class B, let's talk a little bit about the tournament field before we get into our teams. 28 teams, 16 teams qualify. The tournament actually started last night. Chanhassen and St. Michael were suspended in the 6th inning. They're going to finish that game on Sunday evening. So this will be the first completed game in the Class B bracket. So again, 16 teams are in. Years past, you win the first one, you get into the double elimination portion of the tournament. This year's a little different. You have to win 2 games to get into the redemption round. So these first 2 rounds, very, very important. And we'll get into a little bit more of how Shakopee ended up hosting this Class B tournament in a little bit. Let's talk about our teams. East Grand Forks comes out of Region 2B, took out Sobieski in the playoffs to earn a spot in the state tournament. This is the third state trip for an East Grand Forks team, but the Mass in their first year of this rendition of the franchise. So they make the trip in the first year, and they've got 9 players. That's right. They brought 9 players down from East Grand Forks to take on Northfield. Well, the Knights, meanwhile, making a 4th straight trip to the state tourney. Franchise's 7th appearance in the Class B bracket. Manager Troy Deaton admitted it's hard to get a solid read on his team in a 16-game season. They had ups and downs like many other teams did. Earned a spot in state by taking out Rochester in the best-of-3 series in Region 1B. So here you have it, and Northfield is the home team, so they are in the field, and they will get things started here for us in this Class B tournament. It's John Ludwig out on the mound warming up for Northfield, and stats hard to come by. For some teams, we'll have full stats from the season. For others, we won't. And remember, some teams very aggressive in their scheduling and played 20-plus games. And other teams, like Northfield, didn't quite get there. So what will we see here in the state tournament? And East Grand Forks leading things off is number 4, Carter Beck. He is the shortstop for the East Grand Forks Mass. And the top hitter in this lineup, we're going to see him bat third in this lineup, is Reed Jelly, University of Minnesota Crookston star player, East Grand Forks native. And unfortunately, due to traveling restrictions, the top pitcher for East Grand Forks not able to make the trip. He's a college player, also at UMC. Because of COVID, not able to make the trip. So the first pitch from Ludwig is a ball low and inside, and we are underway. Ludwig firing. That one spoiled to the left. Into the parking lot. 1-1 the count. And a really great exchange with Northfield manager Troy Deaton, 36-year-old player, manager. He's in the lineup here today. Is Ludwig's off-speed pitch drilled into right field, so Beck is on with a single. And East Grand Forks making the long trip. Beck making it worth it here in the first at-bat. The leadoff man is on. But talking to Deaton, going back and forth on the email, I asked the team's strengths, and he just laughed it off. He says, I have no idea. And, you don't know who's going to be here, who is not going to be here. Tommy McDonald, his top hitter in the lineup this season, is not here today. So they want to win to get to next weekend and get him back in the lineup. As Ludwig now works to the second hitter in the lineup for East Grand Forks. This is Clark Peterson, the player manager. And the catcher, Clark, also a Crookston player at East Grand Forks. Battled some injuries there in his career, and obviously the 2020 season cut short. I think they got about 13 games in before they pulled the plug on the college season. So here's Clark, very proud of starting this Mass ball club. Here he has them in the state tournament, beating the Skis, a really tough team. Is that fired in by Ludwig? So strike two, 0-2 the count now on the Mass catcher. The 0-2 pitch, trying to get Peterson to chase. That one bounced in the dirt. Nice block by Northfield catcher Sam Moss. So Beck will stay at first. 1-2 the count. Class B state amateur tournament here at Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee. Ludwig. He's been in the zone here early. Peterson able to foul that one back. In Northfield, one of the strengths that they do have a pitching staff with three guys that Deedon trusts on the mound. He did say he was going to go with John here today, but three guys. He said they all bring something a little bit different as Ludwig fires that one in there just a bit high. 2-2 the count now on Peterson. When you get to the state tournament, lineups obviously strong if you can hit up and down the lineup, but as we saw last night in the extra inning game down in the Class C tournament, got to have pitching, especially if we get any extra innings. Play is back stealing in the throw from Moss. Goes into center field. Beck will scurry on down to third. And Peterson, by the way, struck out on the pitch. It's a little action early here from East Grand Forks, and Peterson down on strikes, but Beck able to steal his way to second and then move up to third on the throw into center field. And here is Reed Jelly. This is a player to watch here in the Class B tournament. I mentioned he is the top hitter, and unquestionably here for this East Grand Forks team. He likes that pitch, but fouls it behind the grandstand. So Reed had just a tremendous career at the University of Minnesota Crookston. Again, an East Grand Forks native. He batted .436 for Crookston his junior year. And won all kinds of awards. The most decorated player in the history of the program. As he flies out to right, this will bring Beck home for the first run of the game. So Reed does his job by flying out to right, but a sac fly and a 1-0 lead now for East Grand Forks. I think coach or manager Clark Peterson will take that all day, every day. Now it's Neil Nagel, the right fielder, stepping in. Base is clear as Beck scores the first run. And they're on Ludwig early here. Clark was saying in our email exchange that Reed told him he hasn't really squared one up yet. I think he would say that he didn't really barrel that ball up, but sac fly gets the job done. As the off-speed pitch driven into the dirt, it's now 1-2 count on the number 4 hitter, Neil Nagel. And again, East Grand Forks, just 9 players here today. This is it. This is the squad. There aren't going to be any changes other than they have to switch up pitching, obviously, but all 9 guys in the lineup all day. With the 2-strike count, Ludwig tosses one into the dirt again, but not biting his nagel, so 2-2 the count. We have 2 outs. Top of the first inning. That one outside, squirts away from Moss. And to the backstop, full count now. Neil Nagel. Three-two pitch, drilled right back up the middle. And another base runner now for the Mass. 2 singles in the inning. And with 2 outs, a runner on here for East Grand Forks. I'll tell you what, the Mass come down with just 9 guys and get the bats going here. It's this experienced tournament team here for Northfield. Again, making its 4th straight trip to the state tournament. Of course, played one of the tougher regions in Class B ball as well. Ludwig out of the stretch, fires one in on Scott Mortensen, the 3rd baseman. Number 5 hitter here in the lineup for East Grand Forks. 1-0 the count. One and one after the strike pitch. Ball 2. So Matheson trying to find some rhythm on the mound. Again, East Grand Forks able to put the bat on the ball here early. Matheson's trying to work the corners. So far, disciplined lineup here for the Mass. Swing and a miss. Took a little off of that one. Mortensen couldn't time it. 2-2 the count. 2 outs. Nagel on first base. Oh, high and outside, and Mortensen checks his swing, so we have a full count, 3-2. Just like Nagel before him, works the count full. Ludwig, no doubt, not wanting to put anybody on base here. Should get a pitch to hit. And high and outside, ball 4. So runners at first and second now with 2 out. And in steps Kobe Tweeden. Kobe, the big first baseman here for East Grand Forks. Ludwig's pitch outside, ball 1. So Ludwig laboring a bit now here in the first inning. Again, Northfield and manager Troy Dean does have options on this staff if Ludwig were to struggle anymore here. Just trying to find his rhythm. Good looking pitch there, but a bit outside, so 2-0 is the count. Adds a little speed to that pitch, but again, high and a bit outside, so 3-0. Ludwig now struggling here. Walked Mortensen, and now a 3-0 count on Tweeden. Swings through the 3-0 pitch. Obviously a green light there for the big first baseman. So 3-1. Still a hitter's count here for East Grand Forks. And that ball high, and I don't think it's going to be in play when it's caught, but chasing that one down is Jake Matheson of Northfield. So the Knights get out of the inning, giving up only 1 run. East Grand Forks leaves 2-1 after a half an inning here in Shakopee. It's 1-0 East Grand Forks.
East Grand Forks having the first 1 run on 2 hits.
Welcome back to Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee, the Class B State Amateur Baseball Tournament. It is still Saturday morning here in the tournament. Again, last night's game suspended due to rain. That's Chanhassen St. Michael. They will get the winner of this contest next week. And by the way, Chan and St. Michael will finish up on Sunday evening. That first round matchup, they'll have to come back. So an active first inning for East Grand Forks as they get a run across. Carter Beck singled, stole second, moved to third on the throw into center field. Reed Jelly's sac fly gives the Mass a 1-0 lead. They did leave 2. And now it's up to Kevin Hatcher, the pitcher. Again, just 9 guys here today for the Mass. So Kevin Hatcher, the lefty, will start out there on the mound for the Mass, facing a Northfield lineup. Veteran club, Jake Matheson will lead it off. Thomas Meelan, Alden Severson, Tim Moss, Sam Moss, Eric Pittman, Troy Deaton, the manager, and third baseman Sam Stockmeyer, and Hunter Conrad is going to be the DH.
Number 5, second baseman Jake Matheson.
And Jake Matheson, you may see him pitch at some point as well. He's one of the trio of pitchers that Coach Deaton mentioned. First pitch from Hatcher in for a strike on the second baseman Matheson. It is 1-0. Let's get the score up here for you. Batting for the first time here are the Knights of Northfield. 1-1 the count now. Again, want to mention the top hitter, and this was pointed out by Coach Deaton. I don't have stats for Northfield, but Coach Deaton said Tommy McDonald probably is top hitter. He is not here today and in the lineup. And that's, East Grand Forks dealing with that as well, missing players. Some are in college and can't make the trip up here due to COVID, as Matheson swings a drive to left, and it's run down but off the glove. And into second will pull Matheson. We'll see what they call that. A straight error would be my guess. Long way to run for Cade Spencer out there in left field. And it's E7. So Matheson takes second base. Got some good wood on that one. Drove it to the gap. Spencer, long way to run. He got to it, but it went off his glove. So here we go. As Northfield now in business, just like East Grand Forks, they get their leadoff guy on base. Stepping in now, Thomas Meelan. Lefty back up the middle. Saucedo gets to it, but it goes off of his glove. Took kind of a funny hop there. Saucedo at second base. So East Grand Forks, and they are going to call an error on Saucedo. So back-to-back errors, and it's runners at first and third with nobody out in the first inning for Northfield. And now it's the number 3 hitter, Alden Severson, stepping in. Strike one. Both pitchers wanting to throw strikes. I know Ludwig threw strikes early, these Grand Forks, and then labored a bit walking 2 batters. Kevin Hatcher up here throwing strikes as well. So far, 2 balls in play, 2 errors, and it's first and third as this one is blooped into right. It's a fair ball, and in to score is Matheson. Moving up to third is Meelan. We have a 1-1 game. 3 batters all reaching so far here. 2 errors and a single. Severson with the RBI hit. Northfield gets that run back quickly. Tim Moss steps in, center fielder for Northfield here today. That one just misses, ball 1. Hot shot to third. Chance for a double play, and slipping a little bit at second base as he got there was Saucedo. So they do get the out, but the run scores from third. That's Meelan coming in. And it's a 2-1 Northfield lead. They get the 1 out, so 1 on, 1 out. Severson erased at second base.
Batting fifth over 47, catcher Sam Moss.
Fielder's choice RBI for Tim, and here is Sam Moss. Stepping to the plate now, the catcher. Back-to-back Mosses in the lineup here for Northfield. Now that pitch, Tim Moss moves up to second. In the dirt, good job blocking it, not allowing it to get too far away though by Clark Peterson. And now a runner in scoring position for Northfield. Really tough spot for East Grand Forks if you think about it. Just 9 players. Obviously a pretty long trip. Come all the way down from East Grand Forks, but here they are. First year of existence as the Moss, or the Mass. I keep calling it, the Moss is at the plate. It's East Grand Forks Mass. Keep it all straight. Peterson says mass, a quantity or aggregate of matter, usually of considerable size. That's all they're going to tell you. As to how they came up with that nickname, but here they are. Shot foul down the third baseline. It'll be 2-2 the count. Two-one count, rather. 1 out. Tim Moss at second. Sam Moss at the plate. High fly to center field. And tagging up is Tim Moss. He thought about sliding, didn't need to. So Sam moves Tim up on the sac fly. And with 2 outs, runner now at third for Northfield.
Batting sixth, number 24, left fielder Eric Titman.
You mentioned throwing strikes important. Coach Peterson said, I asked each manager what it'll take to win this tournament. And again, you have to win the first 2 weeks. It's single elimination, first 2 weeks here now in the Class B tournament. And he mentioned, the roster's going to be thin. The bats haven't really taken over, so minimizing free bases. And obviously, the 2 errors hurting East Grand Forks here in the first inning, down 2-1. A 1-1 count. That ball outside. Hatcher trying to escape the inning here without any further damage. As Eric Pittman, by the way, is at the plate, the left fielder. It's now a 3-1 count. Minimizing free bases, so Hatcher, no surprise, has come out and thrown strikes, but the defense a little leaky early on for the Mass. 3-1 pitch and a nice pitch. Swing and a miss for Pittman. Full count. Pittman, good cut there. Foul near the East Grand Forks dugout to stay alive. And on the 3-2 pitch outside, Pittman takes ball 4 down to first. First walk of the game. In this prolonged first inning for both pitchers. You have to think that's absolutely advantaged Northfield with the thin roster from East Grand Forks. And in steps the player manager, Troy Deaton, the 36-year-old. So he's going to keep playing, loves it. Oh, he swings that one off maybe his foot. Troy's going to have to walk that one off. 0-1 count. After the rain we had last night, a beautiful day here. As the pitch is a strike. They had the potential for a double steal there. Little run action here as Pittman is able to steal second. The throw from Peterson actually goes to third. They were trying to catch Tim Moss maybe in between there. I'm not sure. I think Moss was going to wait to read that throw anyway. So runners at second and third now. 0-2 count on Deaton. And gets a bat on that one, down first baseline foul. Good pitch to hit to short. And the throw to first. East Grand Forks out of the inning. They strand 2. So both teams stranding 2 runners. But Northfield with the advantage 2-1. They lead it after 1 in the Class B state tournament.
On Monday, and in Springfield if you count the second, Laverne 2, Mora 0. Hey, check out the hamburger.
Back to Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee for the Class B state tournament. The first game here on this Saturday, a busy Saturday here. It is going to be, and as we move into the second inning, 2-1 Northfield leads it. An active first inning for both teams. Both teams strand 2 runners. East Grand Forks had 2 hits in their top half of the first. We'll see if they can continue that momentum, but stranding 2 runners. And Northfield taking advantage of 2 errors, only got 1 hit in the inning. Able to push 2 across. John Ludwig back onto the mound, hoping to settle in a little bit here as Cade Spencer, the left fielder, leads things off in the second inning for East Grand Forks. A swing and a miss for Cade. And that is what Ludwig hopes to do. Keep this 9-man lineup in check here. This team went back, got him his run back and 1 more. Still looks to hold it. Nice pitch right on the outside corner. 0-2 the count. We'll see if Ludwig can settle in. Three pitches and a strikeout. Quick work here for Ludwig. 1 out in the top of the second.
Number 6, second baseman Victor Salcido.
Salcedo, the second baseman. Victor stepping in. 8th hitter in the lineup. Ludwig, let's say he's settled in here. 4 straight strikes to open the second inning. Sometimes you just have to get through that first inning here in the tournament. Get your feet under you a little bit as he gets the call there as well. So 5 straight strikes now to start the second for Ludwig. Looking to make quick work here of East Grand Forks. A little extra juice on that one, but an inside pitch. So 1-2 the count. So Sato yet to swing the bat here in this at-bat. He does here, and it's strike 3. Ludwig comes out firing, strikes out the first 2 batters on just 7 pitches. And it's 2 down with pitcher Kevin Hatcher and the number 9 hitter in the lineup stepping in.
That ninth over 14 pitcher Kevin Hatcher.
Hatcher, big cut there, strike 1. East Grand Forks having to go through Sabisky to get here. Powerhouse franchise up there. As Hatcher swings through another one. 0-2 the count now. Ludwig is absolutely on fire here in the second inning. Outside corner just misses. That's just his 10th pitch of the inning and a 1-2 count. And he goes right back down the middle. Hatcher cannot catch up. 1-2-3. Ludwig strikes out the side on just 11 pitches. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning. Northfield settling in with a 2-1 lead.
What's special about high school sports? The passion, the excitement, the memories.
Now on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community, connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
Northfield live in second, batting eighth, number 4.
Bottom of the second, Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee, the Class B State Amateur Baseball Tournament. We've got East Grand Forks taking on Northfield, and the Knights at the plate with a 2-1 lead. For a very active first inning, let's recap quickly. John Ludwig, pitcher for Northfield, struggled a bit in the first. Walked a couple guys. He was all business in the second inning. 11 pitches, and he strikes out the side. So here is Northfield at the dish against the lefty Kevin Hatcher for East Grand Forks. Hatcher in the first inning not helped much by his defense, 2 errors. Northfield managed just 1 hit, but they did push across 2, left 2. And a swing here. Nice play at short, an even better scoop at first base. So great job by East Grand Forks. Combo of Carter Beck at short, throwing on the run, and Kobe Tweet the stretch at first base for the first out. And that was, by the way, Sam Stockmeyer, the right fielder, at the dish for Northfield. He falls victim to the great play here. Grounds out to shortstop. Now the DH Hunter Conrad, the 9th batter in the order for Northfield, steps in, takes a strike from Hatcher. As you might expect, first inning, everyone just getting their feet wet. We have Ludwig striking out the side in his half of the second inning. The defense faulty for East Grand Forks in the first, but a nice defensive play to open things up here in the bottom of the second inning. Good crowd on hand here this morning. As strike 3, Hatcher takes care of Conrad in just 3 pitches. So Peterson had to make the throw to first, ran down the first baseline. Made Tweed work for it a little bit, but Clark got it done. So the pitcher's obviously settling in a little bit here, as we're back to the top of the order.
Second baseman Jake Matheson.
Jake Matheson. He reached on an error, hit the ball hard out to left field. But Cade Spencer got to it, just could not glove it. And Matheson eventually scored the first run of the game for Northfield. 2-0 count now. So we'll see as the lineup turns over. These pitchers are being a little more careful with some of the guys at the top of the order. Hatcher wasted no time with Hunter Conrad. Now a 2-0 count. A pitch. And obviously in the back of his mind, Matheson hit him pretty hard in the first inning. Some good wood on it there as well, but a foul ball. So 2-1 the count, 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. And as I mentioned earlier, this will be the first completed game in the Class B bracket. All games here in Shakopee, but last night's game suspended due to rain. That's Chanhassen with a 6-2 lead over St. Michael. They'll finish that one up Sunday night. The winner of this game will await the winner of the Chanhassen Redbirds and St. Michael Ball Club as the walk to Matheson. So he's on base again. Reached on an error, now a walk. Here is Thomas Meelan. He also reached on an error.
Shortstop Thomas Nealon.
For him. And it's 3-1. Some technical difficulties here, so let's update our scoreboard as Northfield with a 3-1 lead now. After Severson's second hit, a good shot here by Moss to center field, but that is a long fly out, so East Grand Forks gets out of the inning, only giving up a run. So after 2, it is now 3-1 Northfield. And another hit by Severson adds another run. We'll be right back with Class B action in the state tournament from Shakopee. That fouled straight back, caught in the netting right above us. I don't know how they're going to get that ball down. Wedged between the roof and the netting here. Kit Callis, our stellar cameraman, is going to get a shot of this one for you. So back to Clark now, still 3-2 count. Trying to work Ludwig here in the third inning. John strikes him out, nice pitch. Clark down on strikes for the second time.
Seventh fielder, Reed Jelly.
It is the first out of the inning here in the third. Now Reed Jelly, the dangerous hitter. We get our scoreboard back up. 3-1 is the score. Reed Jelly, the top hitter on this club. He drills one into right field, and Beck's going to take third. He'll get there easily. So first and third now. With just one out, this East Grand Forks lineup. I know Clark Peterson talked about it. We've got to get this lineup to click. On the top of the order, at least. Doing some damage here against the Knights of Northfield and starting pitcher John Ludwig.
No run after 2 innings. It's the Avon Lakers 4, Union Hill Bulldogs 3.
So Jelly, who's on first base, had the sac fly RBI, by the way, in the first. So just catching up here now is Neil Nagel, again the fourth hitter in this lineup. Neil had a single in the first inning. As Jelly steals second, throw goes down, and he's in ahead of the throw. So second and third, one out. There is an 0-2 count on Nagel. We saw this in the first inning. East Grand Forks, they're going to create some pressure on the bases. Some action going. And that throw actually went down, keeping an eye on the speedy Carter Beck at third. Sam Moss gets it down there, but Reed Jelly with the steal. And that one off the end of the bat should stay in the infield. Meelan back to catch it for Northfield, so a very, very important out for Ludwig. 2 outs now, and it'll be up to Scott Mortensen. Mortensen walked his first time up. Ludwig trying to work out of a jam here. Shakes off a couple signs. Now comes to the plate, and that is into right field. That'll tie the game at 3. So Mortensen, 2 RBI, single to right. Jelly's pumped up as he crosses the plate, and we are tied 3-3. This Grand Forks lineup came to play this morning. And that was the first pitch Mortensen saw. Singles it into right field.
First baseman Kobe Tweeten.
Kobe Tweeten in now. Tweeten popped out in the first inning. Inside pitch, ball 1. How about that for clutch hitting? Beck has now scored 2 runs. Jelly comes in from second. Mortensen, absolute clutch shot to tie things up. Swinging through that one is Tweeten. 1-1 the count now. And that was, remember, Ludwig got that out from getting Nagel to pop out to short. Huge out at the time. But Mortensen getting the job done for East Grand Forks. This one fouled back just to the right of us. 1-2 the count now. And the East Grand Forks first baseman. A nice pitch there, driven into the ground, so staying alive, Tweeten. That was not an easy pitch to hang with. And the big man will lumber back to the plate and try it again. I don't have the height and weight chart of these guys, but Kobe's probably the biggest player here for this game, I would think. Ludwig trying to get him to chase the high fastball. 2-2 the count. Mortensen at first base after the 2 RBI single. Swing and a miss, so Ludwig gets out of it with the strikeout, but Mortensen does the damage for East Grand Forks. The Mass battle back from an early deficit. We are tied at 3 going to the bottom of the third. We go to the bottom of the third here at Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee. Live state amateur Class B action on PrepSpotlight.tv. We've got a good one here. This is what you want to see in a state tournament. Teams getting their feet wet in the first inning. It was 2-1. Northfield led it after 2. 3-1. They led it after 1 it was 2-1, and then after 2 it was 3-1. But East Grand Forks battling back. Scott Mortensen, the 2 RBI single, and here we are 3-3 the score. First round matchup, winner moves on to next weekend. The loser season is over. That's a pop-up. Clark Peterson stumbles a bit. He probably wouldn't have gotten there anyway. Sam Moss trying to bunt his way on. Lost the catcher. So I think he's just trying to catch these guys off guard a little bit, maybe thinking, well, this catcher's not going to bunt. Both pitchers, gritty performances so far. There's Kevin Hatcher, the lefty, coming to the plate. And the 0-1 count in the dirt, 1-1. We're here in Shakopee. Now remember, the state tournament is supposed to be co-hosted. It was New Ulm's state tournament, and then Springfield was going to help them out down in southern Minnesota. But as this one is lifted to center, long run here and chasing it down. Nice play, and that's Reed Jelly, the former Division II decorated player at Crookston. So able to chase that one down for the first out. But New Ulm was supposed to host. And they elected out due to COVID. The city officials decided not to host the tournament. For an emergency meeting. They spread things out. Springfield stayed with it, and they picked up Milroy for the Class C tournament. So they've got that bracket up and running down there. Class A in St. Anthony Village. And then here we are, the B tournament at the Joe, as they call it. Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee. It was a tough deal for New Ulm to opt out. A lot of hard work goes into putting these tournaments on, years of work to lay the groundwork for it. They got beautiful baseball parks down there, but completely understandable that the city officials decided not to host the tournament, as we have a ground out. Eric Pittman grounds out to third.
Third baseman, Troy Deaton.
That'll bring up player manager Troy Deaton, the third baseman. Troy grounded to short his first time up. 2 outs now. Hatcher welcoming so far a quick inning as he strike one on Deaton. Both Hatcher and John Ludwig, the pitcher for Northfield, had moments here. Also had to labor through some errors, some walks, clutch hitting for East Grand Forks last inning. And with only 9 players in the lineup, only 9 guys made the trip down for East Grand Forks, Hatcher will definitely take a quicker inning as he gets strike 2, swing and a miss for Deaton. Tough pitch to lay off. Good location for Hatcher, but it is ball 2. Deaton, nice discipline there. Oh, a shot, and what a glove at third base for the out. A tremendous play at third made by Scott Mortensen. So Mortensen have an inning, a 2-run RBI single on the top, and a great play at third to get Deaton to end the inning after 3. 3-3, we are tied up in the Class B State Amateur Tournament.
What's special about high school sports? The passion, the excitement, the memories.
Now a 3 in the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community, connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
Nice crowd on hand here at Joe Schlepper Stadium for the first game on this Saturday packed full of action in the Class B tournament. We're going to be live all day here on PrepSpotlight.tv, so stay with us. In a rich tradition of state amateur here in the state of Minnesota. Northfield in its 4th straight trip to the bracket, the East Grand Forks Mass, in their first year is in this current existence. Young ball club, a lot of kids from that area, a lot of Crookston, University of Minnesota Crookston players. The team put together by player manager Clark Peterson. It's John Ludwig back on the mound for Northfield for the 4th inning. We are tied 3-3. And East Grand Forks took an early lead to watch Northfield come back, take a 3-1 advantage. That was after 2 innings of play, but a great 3rd inning for East Grand Forks and a great 3rd inning for Scott Mortensen, a 2 RBI single to tie it up, and then made a great play to rob Troy Deaton at 3rd. I mean, he smoked that one. And Mortensen went down, but his glove went up to snag it to get the 3rd out as Ludwig hits the corner. 2-1 the count now. And this is Cade Spencer, the left fielder, batting for East Grand Forks. He struck out in the 2nd inning. Swings through that pitch, 2-2 now. Ludwig labored a bit in the 1st inning. The 2nd, he struck out the side on just 11 pitches. And then East Grand Forks able to knock him around a little bit in the last frame. Spencer gets a piece of that one to stay alive. Still 2-2, nobody out. 3-3 our score. Region 1B representative, Northfield. That tough Region 1. Region 2 representative, East Grand Forks, making the long journey here. And good job by Spencer to stay alive again. And the count remains 2-2. And there are crowd restrictions, in case you were wondering. 250 people are allowed per contest. The team's able to dole out tickets. A good crowd. And some nice social distancing here at the ballpark today. A swing and a miss. So Ludwig gets Spencer for the 2nd time here this morning. And we have one out with Victor Sacedo stepping to the plate, the 2nd baseman. He also struck out. So this was the part of the lineup where Ludwig came out in that second inning and struck out 3 batters on 11 pitches. It was Spencer, Saucedo, and Hatcher who's on deck. See if they can put one into play here in the 4th. That one bends in a little high and inside, ball 1. Swing and foul back. So Victor a little bit late on that fastball. Trying to time Ludwig. He calls a ball. Ludwig did not like that call. He's going to walk around the mound. Try to shake that one off. 2-1 the count. Call probably a little bit high. Comes right back with the heat and gets the strike. 2-2 on the second baseman for East Grand Forks, Victor Saucedo. Swing and a miss. So Ludwig buzzing his way through the bottom of the order here again. 2 strikeouts to open the 4th. Saucedo down swinging for the second time in this contest. And here's the pitcher, Kevin Hatcher, the lefty, now stepping in. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Northfield might just do what they can to outlast East Grand Forks. What I mentioned again, the Mass here with just 9 players. Northfield coach Troy Deeden feels he's got 3 guys he can trust out there on the mound. And with a week before the next contest, obviously you can use those arms as needed. Don't have to play another game here today, or this weekend for that matter. It's a swinging strike, 0-1 the count. Outside, 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. And he takes care of Hatcher again, striking out the side in the bottom of the order for the second time here this morning. So we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Northfield coming to bat, knotted at 3 apiece here in the Class B State Amateur Tournament. Back to live action at the Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee, Class B State Tournament bracket, Minnesota Amateur Baseball. And we've got East Grand Forks and Northfield knotted up at 3 apiece as we head to the bottom of the 4th. To recap at East Grand Forks with the 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, those coming in the first inning, allowing 2 runs to score eventually for the Knights. The Knights, with their 3 runs on 3 hits, they also have an error. It's been a good one here so far. 1B and 2B matchup here in the bracket. Sam Stockmeyer will lead things off for the Knights in the 4th. Knocks that one foul toward the third baseline. The lefty Kevin Hatcher. Stockmeyer trying to time that one a little ahead of it again. Down the third baseline, 0-2 the count. Hatcher, just one strikeout here so far through 3 innings. Tries to get Stockmeyer to chase. Sam holds steady. Stockmeyer grounded to short for the first out in the second inning for Northfield. This time flies to right. Barely having to move is right fielder Neil Nagel, and we have one out.
Designated hitter, Hunter Conrad.
And here is the designated hitter, Hunter Conrad. He is the one strikeout victim here. The Northfield lineup struck out in the second inning. So Hatcher in that second inning got Stockmeyer and Conrad start things off. And Northfield able to piece together a walk and a couple hits. Push that third run across. We have an 0-1 count after the foul ball. That one in the dirt, 1-1. We saw Ludwig, the pitcher for Northfield, feasting on the bottom of East Grand Forks lineup. The last 3 batters in the order for the Mass struck out twice now. Ludwig has struck out the side, second and the fourth inning. And Hatcher trying to have a similar pattern against the bottom of the Knights order, as he's now got a 1-2 count on Conrad. Tries to get him to chase. Hunter doesn't bite. 2-2 the count. 1 out. Bottom of the fourth. Conrad able to stay alive. To the plate. Again, tries to get him to chase on that outside corner, and Conrad holds. So we have a full count on the number 9 hitter, the Northfield lineup. Did a good job working count full in this at bat. Hatcher wasting no time, comes back to the plate again, chops it off the plate. Foul ball will remain 3-2. Hatcher trying to work quickly out there. Comes to the plate here, fly to right. Will it stay fair is the question. It is a fair ball, and Conrad's going to dig for 2. The throw into second base is late, and a double, a 1-out double for Hunter Conrad here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Nice at bat by Conrad. Worked it full, fouled off a couple pitches. Just went with that pitch right on the line out there in right field. A really nice job. Nagel's playing a good right field out there. Pretty good throw. Conrad just enough to get in with a 1-out double. So back to the top of the lineup, Jake Matheson. He reached on an error, reached on a walk. He has scored twice. So keeping him off base paramount, and they're not going to do it as he singles to left. Conrad originally held at third. Now he stumbles. He still hasn't scored yet. And he kind of puts his head down, saying, yeah, a little embarrassing there, but I'll take the run. So Hunter Conrad, again, originally he held. The ball bobbled in left field. So he comes in as the throw went to second, stumbled on his way in. Kind of kept his head down walking back to the dugout, but 4-3. So the double and then the single by Matheson, who's on base for the third time here today. Reach on an error, base on balls, now the single. An RBI. And stealing right away is Matheson. Pretty good throw into center field. Matheson thought about maybe trying to take third there. Instead, he'll stay at second. Stolen base for Jake. Northfield maybe sniffing a potential significant rally here, so not wasting any time as Matheson to take second. So we have one out, 1-0 count on Thomas Meelan. Meelan also reached on an error, then a bunt single in the second inning. A 1-1 count. That's what you want your leadoff guy to do, Jake Matheson. Get on base and make things happen. All 3 times up, all 3 times on base. All 3 times at least to second base. See if he can score for a third time in this inning. Nice pitch by Hatcher. As Meelan went fishing there, comes up empty. 1-2 the count. Shot down to first, foul. Tries to spin that one back over the inside corner. Ball 2, 2-2 the count. Spoils that one back, remains 2-2. Man, the top, so we talked about the bottom half of the order, the pitchers, till Conrad got that double there. Handling the bottom half of the order on both sides, but the top half wreaking havoc as Meelan's going to knock that one into right center field, and they're going to send the runner. The throw to the plate, up the line. Peterson snags it. It's not in time, so Matheson scores. Meelan to second. Double for Meelan, and he too on base for the third time in this contest. So I was about to say, top of the lineup. Causing a lot of troubles here for East Grand Forks. And we'll see if they're going to make a change here. The manager is the catcher, Clark Peterson. And we'll see some guys going to the dugout. Could be wholesale changes. We'll do what we can to try to keep up with that if we can. Guys are going to switch gloves, perhaps. Nobody can come out of the lineup. They've only got 9 players here. Yep, and they're going to switch it up. We're going to have a new pitcher. So this might be a nightmare on my score sheet to try to keep up with what Clark Peterson's going to change here. We'll see how it plays out, as he is going to Reed Jelly. Star player on this team is actually going to pitch a little bit here. Reed, known for his hitting, the first baseman in college, playing center field here to start the game, and now he's going to pitch. He's a baseball player. I'll do best to keep track of the new positions. As Hatcher will move to first base. Let's step away while Reed warms up. We'll try to get it squared away for you. We are in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Class B state tournament bracket. 5-3 right now. Northfield's got the lead. They've got a runner at second. And we've got just one out. And a new pitcher when we come back.
Jelly now pitching. Now for the first base. Now playing right field number 11, Kobe Tweet.
So we think we've got everything figured out here, as East Grand Forks will move things around. Again, they have just 9 players, so the guys are just going to have to switch positions as we go to Reed Jelly, who will now come in relief. Pitcher Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher moves to first. The right fielder, Neil Nagel, goes to center, and the first baseman start the game. Kobe Tweeten is now in right field. So did you get all that? I'll try to keep track of that. And Jelly's first pitch is a strike. As we get back to the lineup, Alden Severson, he has been on base. Both times he's been up, knocks it back up the middle. Beck's able to knock it down, but the run is still going to score. That'll be a single RBI for Severson. His third RBI of the game. Third hit, third RBI. As Meelan, he's got a little bit of speed out there, scores from second. That went off shortstop Carter Beck's glove. But it kind of went into no man's land out there, and with Meelan's speed, he's able to score. We've now got a 6-3 ball game. And the top 3 batters in the lineup continue to produce here for Northfield. Severson, 3 RBIs. Matheson, Meelan, Severson on base all 3 times up. Matheson and Meelan provided 5 of the 6 runs. Severson has knocked in 3. As Jelly quickly gets the 0-2 count here on Tim Moss. Over the top, and you can see Jelly's changing his arm angles a little bit here. That was an over-the-top strike. And he gets Moss swinging, so makes quick work of him, of Moss. And now it's Sam Moss, the catcher, stepping to the plate with 2 outs. Severson at first. And a 6-3 lead for the Northfield Knights. There he is. So you'll see some different arm angles here from Reed. And I do not know if he pitched in college, probably obviously in high school. Really good baseball player. Got a pretty strong arm, so he's done kind of a 3-quarter action. When he was warming up, he actually dipped down as well. And then he's got that over-the-top fastball, a 1-1 count here on Moss. Back to the sidearm, and he rips this one into left, Moss does, but foul. So Sam Moss timing that one. He's actually just a little bit ahead of it, and he got a good swing on it. 1-2 the count. See if Jelly comes back to that over-the-top delivery. He's got some zip on that fastball. And the former all-region player at Minnesota Crookston. Oh, he slows things down. And Moss ends up popping it up, flying out to center field to end the inning. So Jelly does give up the RBI single. But other than that, gets East Grand Forks out of the jam after 4. It is 6-3 Northfield. We move to the 5th inning here at Joe Schlepper Stadium. The Class B State Amateur Baseball Tournament. Northfield puts up 3 in the bottom of the 4th inning to take a 6-3 advantage. East Grand Forks down 3-1 early in this contest, battle back. We'll see if they can do it again, and they've got the right part of the lineup coming up. Is Carter Beck. He's been a menace. 2 singles, 2 runs scored in this contest. John Ludwig on the mound. He has just dominated the bottom half of the lineup. He's got 9 strikeouts going into the 5th inning, so he has surrendered 5 hits. Obviously, East Grand Forks with 3 runs on the board. So Ludwig goes back to work and is going to try to get Beck out for the first time here today. Beck also a stolen base in the 1st inning. One count after that one is fouled back. Northfield has scored in every inning except for the 3rd so far, so their lineup, particularly the top half of their lineup, has done a lot of damage here early in this contest. Is Beck is going to try to drop that one into left. Instead, it goes into the bullpen. Foul ball, 1-2. Ludwig throws that one in the dirt to the backstop, 2-2 the count. Ludwig obviously tries to pitch from ahead like most guys probably do, but very textbook, trying to get guys to bite on some of these pitches when he has the advantage in the count. Now he comes back in, and I'll get a little bit high and outside. Ludwig thought maybe he was going to get the call there. Instead, it's a full count on the leadoff man for the East Grand Forks Mass. First year of existence in this form of the franchise, coming down to the state tournament for the first time. Outside, and Beck is on base again. This time draws the base on balls. Clark Peterson, player manager, at the dish now. We'll see if they have Beck moving. Clark has struck out twice against Ludwig. 2 of his 9 Ks here. And the number 2 batter in the order. If they try something to get Beck moving on these base pads. No runners have been thrown out yet here today. On the inside corner, 0-2 now. And Clark Peterson, really nice write-up on the Crookston website. Get a chance to go check that out and what he has meant to that program. As a player there, and the leadership he brought every single day to that roster. This one gets away. That'll have Beck at second. He's just going to keep going to third, and he'll get there. The throw coming up a little bit late. Oh, Beck almost fell off. Deaton saying, I don't know, maybe he fell off. The umpire saying no, he kept his foot on, so Beck scurries on to third base. Or I assume that would be a wild pitch. Beck's a lot of speed at the top of that lineup. Mentioned the steal in the first inning, and there was no hesitation. He read that one, and he went to third. Moss's throw down a little bit late. So here we have nobody out and a runner on third. East Grand Forks right back in business. 1-2 pitch, and Peterson pops it kind of to the Bermuda Triangle out there, and Deaton tries to make a basket. Over-the-shoulder catch cannot. I'm not 100% sure that Beck would have held there. I don't know. I mean, with that play, he might have tried for it. So Troy almost making a highlight reel catch. But maybe, depending on what happens here, maybe it'll actually work out for the better. Nope. Clark Peterson knocks it to the gap. That'll be a two-base hit for the player manager. And trotting in to score the fourth run of the game for East Grand Forks is Carter Beck. He has scored 3 runs now. Nice at bat by Clark Peterson. RBI double. And here come the Mass. Battled back from that early 3-1 deficit. Now cutting the Northfield lead to 2 runs. Still nobody out, and you've got Clark standing on second, and now another really good hitter. That's an understatement, and Reed Jelly, one of the top hitters in this entire tournament. RBI single the last time he came up. Nice pitch by Ludwig. Reed, also a former Northwoods League player, played for Rochester. Oh, Ludwig tried to bend another one in there. Jelly got under it. Fly out to left field. Out number 1. Peterson will stay at second. Good pitch by Ludwig. Not much room for error. If Reed barrels that one up, it's probably over the 355 sign in left center field. But instead he got just under it. Plenty of loft out there. Easy catch for Pittman. So now Neil Nagel comes up. He singled in the first. Flew out to third base his last time up. Throw goes to second. Peterson gets back. It was actually a fly out to shortstop, and it was that big out that Ludwig got back in the third inning with runners on second and third and 1 out. Got Nagel to fly out to short before Mortensen stung him with the 2 RBI single next up. Kind of a check swing there. 0-1 count. Nagel now playing center field, part of that player shift. The 9 guys here for East Grand Forks. They moved around, bringing Jelly into pitch in relief in the last inning. So we'll officially just call him an outfielder. Neil Nagel, the outfielder. The runner in scoring position. Takes ball 1, 1-1 the count. Starting to heat up out there. Major rainstorms overnight. Mid-70s to start this game, now pushing into the 80s. The humidity picking up a little bit too. It was a swing and a miss by Nagel. 1-2 now. Time called at the dish as Peterson getting the attention of Ludwig here. Wouldn't think that he would be a threat to steal necessarily, so I don't know if they just feel they can get some action in on him. Make a play at second. Does have a huge lead. Was about halfway to third there as it's ball 2. 2-2 the count. Peterson definitely has Ludwig's attention. Ludwig's going to try to work out of this jam. Again, both pitchers just having difficulties keeping the top half of the orders in check. Swing and a miss, and strike 3. Another big strikeout. Another big out, I should say, of Nagel for Ludwig.
Third baseman, Scott Martinson.
Similar to the third inning when he got Ludwig to pop out to short with runners on second and third. Gets a big one-out strikeout here with Peterson at second base. Now Mortensen, though. Remember Mortensen, the big 2 RBI single to right field in the third inning. Swings through this pitch from Ludwig, 0-1 the count. Mortensen walked in the first. Lifts this one up to left field. Pittman grabs it, and working his way out of the jam is Ludwig. We go to the bottom of the fifth. 6-4, Northfield in the lead. Northfield Knights with a 6-4 lead heading into the bottom of the fifth inning. Live on PrepSpotlight.tv, I'm Eric Murphy. We are pleased to bring you the State Amateur Baseball Tournament this season. What a fun event. Think of the tradition of State Amateur Baseball in Minnesota. We are more than pleased to be here, and we are at Shakopee's Joe Schlepper Stadium for the Class B bracket. Last night's game suspended due to rain will be finished Sunday, so this will be the first completed game in the Class B bracket. The Knights of Northfield had 6-4 lead over the East Grand Forks Mass, and the Mass mascot nickname, if you will, getting a little attention here in the crowd. People wondering exactly why they came up with that, and Clark Peterson, the player manager, wouldn't really give me a definitive answer other than he just gave me the definition. So there's speculation maybe Clark likes science, maybe a science major in college. I actually didn't look, see what he was at Crookston. But he started this team, and he's got him here. Representing Region 2B, got him here in the state tournament, and they're battling against a seasoned Northfield squad. East Grand Forks is here with just 9 players. They've already had to shift around and making a pitching change last inning. That's Reed Jelly on the mound. Came in from center field. So this is his second inning in relief, and that's a shot to the gap, running it down in center field. And that is your new center fielder, Neil Nagel, who moved over from right field to center. Neil had to run a long way there to get that out. That was Kobe Tweeden.
Third baseman, Troy Deaton.
Excuse me, Kobe on the mass. So that was Eric Pittman flying out for the first out. Going to keep my scorecard straight here. Flip the book. That brings up player manager Troy Deaton of Northfield. Really nice back and forth email exchange with Troy this week as well. He wrote me a really nice note on his team. Just kind of laughed it off when I asked him his team strengths. He said that's kind of hard to tell. When you only play 15 games, typically you'd get near 40 in. So he just said his boys are going to come up, play ball, and that's what he likes about this team. They're kind of no nonsense. Just lace them up, no egos. See if they can make it to the next round here of this tournament. Again, this year, first 2 rounds are single elimination. Years past, you make it to the second weekend, you're guaranteed at least another game. You got a winner go home today, winner go home next weekend. As Troy pops out to short for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. Sam Stockmeyer, the right fielder, will step in. Sam grounded to short and flew out to right field. First 2 times up. Reed Jelly making quick work here. The bottom half of the order of Northfield. So again, Jelly, you're going to see him come at the hitters with different arm angles. Jelly, a first baseman in college, started center field here. Not sure if he had any pitching stats in college at all. But again, a good baseball player with a strong arm. Does have a 3-0 count here on Stockmeyer, and you can see him trying to aim that one in on the 3-0 count. 4-pitch walk, and with 2 outs, Northfield has a base runner. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, the DH, Hunter Conrad. Tell you what, Conrad struck out his first at bat and then really battled to a full count on starting pitcher Kevin Hatcher before doubling and eventually scoring last inning. Conrad also the misfortune of stumbling on his way to home. Kind of kept his head down. Scored the run anyway. This time he pops it up into short right field. And that is a pretty seamless inning other than the working his way around that 2-out walk for Reed Jelly. So a scoreless bottom of the 5th for Northfield. We go to the 6th inning at the Joe in the Class B state tournament. 6-4. Northfield leads it. Grounds crew here at Schlepper Stadium out there working the field as we enter the 6th inning of good ball game here to open up our Saturday, a Saturday full of action in the Class B bracket. See the Chaska Cubs walking into the stadium. They play our next game against Dundas. That's going to be a really good matchup, very much anticipated. And I'll tell you what, you talk to somebody, the Dundas side, they think they're going to win it. You talk to the Chaska side, they feel pretty good about their chances. I feel pretty good that it's going to be a good ball game, much like we have here against East Grand Forks and Northfield as John Ludwig starts his 6th inning on the mound. He has got 10 strikeouts for Northfield. East Grand Forks does have 6 hits, including one huge clutch 2 RBI single, 2 outs by Scott Mortensen a couple innings back. But Ludwig definitely striking up the K stats here. He's got a 1-on-1 count on Kobe Tweeden. He was now playing right field. Big man started at first base for East Grand Forks. Ludwig curves another one in there, 1-2 the count now. And Tweeden flew out and struck out. So he is 0 for 2 so far in this contest. And he swings through that pitch from Ludwig. Strikeout number 11 for John. Tweeten goes down on strikes for the 2nd time. And that'll bring up Cade Spencer, who has struck out twice. So here we go again toward the bottom of the order. So in the 2nd inning and in the 4th inning, Ludwig came in and faced the 7, 8, 9 hitters, and he struck out the side both times. As Spencer swings through another one here, quickly down, 0-1 in the count. Obviously, Kobe Tweeden, the 6 hitter, leading off the 6th inning here. But so far, so good for Ludwig. We'll see if he can manage to strike out the side for the 3rd time in this contest. A little high there, so back-to-back balls, 2-1 the count. Spencer's probably going to take as much as he can. Still trying to time up Ludwig here. Put a ball in play. Goes right back to the fastball. And it's a 2-2 count. Inside, we have a full count. So Spencer, great job of staying patient in this at-bat. Ludwig trying to work around him a little bit here. Finds himself in a 3-2 count. We'll see if he comes right after him. Now he curves it in there, and it's strike 3. So for the 3rd time, Cade Spencer goes down swinging. And now it's Victor Cicero. He has struck out twice, as mentioned.
Second baseman Victor Cicero.
The old saying in baseball, you're eventually going to see something you've never seen before. I'm sure it's been done before, but if you can strike out the side 3 times through 6 innings, you look at the scoreboard, you probably wouldn't suspect that. The 4 runs on the board for the Mass, but they've gotten nothing so far from the bottom half of the order. So Ludwig has dominated that portion of the lineup. Fouled back, so Victor trying to time him up here, but he's quickly in an 0-2 hole.
Sprinkle ice cream. You get this, you're terrific. Hold on.
Stays low and outside for ball 1. Cicero not biting. Ludwig with 12 strikeouts. But again, 6 hits. 4 runs on the board for East Grand Forks as Cicero goes down swinging for the 3rd time. And it's another 1-2-3 inning. Unbelievable for Ludwig. 13 strikeouts now.
3 up, 3 down. Question is,
And we head to the bottom of the sixth. Northfield look to add to their lead.
second baseman for the Cincinnati Reds in the late 50s.
What's special about high school sports? The passion, the excitement, the memories.
Down on three in the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community, connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
Got a good one here at Joe Schlepper Stadium to start things off this Saturday in the Class B State Amateur Baseball Tournament. Northfield stepping to the plate with a 6-4 advantage over East Grand Forks.
Bottom of the sixth for Northfield. Second baseman Jake Matheson.
And this is a good place to start for the lineup as far as Northfield is concerned. This is Jake Matheson, the leadoff hitter. He has been on base 3 times already. Reached on an error, a walk, and then an RBI single. And he has also scored 3 of the 6 runs here for the Knights this morning. Well, now this afternoon. Reed Jelly back out for his 3rd inning of relief for East Grand Forks. 2-0 count. Jelly gets Matheson to pop it up. And Hatcher, first baseman, snags it, and for the first time today, they get Matheson.
Shortstop Thomas Meelan.
Now Thomas Meelan, another menace at the top of the order. He has also been on 3 times and has scored 2 of the 6 runs here for the Knights. The top of the order flat out getting it done through the first 5 innings for Northfield. Meelan with an RBI double his last time up, reached on an error in the first, had a bunt single in the 2nd inning. And again, Jelly with a 2-ball, no strike count on the hitter. Strike 1. Reed doing a pretty good job here since relieving Hatcher in the 4th inning. Comes back with another strike to even the count. Now Meelan just fighting that one off to stay alive. Hits it toward my car in the parking lot. Hopefully everything works out okay over there. And Reed Jelly spins that one in for the strikeout to catch Meelan looking. I tell you, he doesn't always look,
First baseman Alden Severson.
I don't know what the right word is, traditional as a pitcher, but obviously a good arm, gets a little movement there. And again, continues to change arm angles, which is very important, especially at this level. You can just change it up on guys, and so far so good for Jellies. He goes sidearm here to Alden Severson. Now let's talk about Alden. RBI single in the first, RBI single in the second, and an RBI single in the 4th. 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs for Alden. And he too works a 2-0 count. So either Jelly's onto something here, or he's not going to show anything in the first couple pitches, or it's just kind of working out that way as he throws that one kind of on the inside corner. Doesn't get the call. 3-0. Strike one. Strike two. Severson clearly thought that was ball four, but nicking the inside corner. Back to a full count. Now Reed works fast out there too. Goes back to sidearm, and he's going to get a pop-up to get out of the inning. Saucedo at second base. Oh no, he drops the ball. I don't know if he lost it in the sun, not able to read that pitch. Saucedo's second error of the game. Had one in the first inning as well. That'll be the fourth error for East Grand Forks. And that was a problem for them in the first inning. Matheson and Meelan reached on errors to start the game for Northfield. They both came around to score. So we'll see if Jelly can work his way out of this one as Tim Moss steps in. And forget the 2-0, 3-0 counts, goes right after him. Strike one. Moss, RBI and a fielder's choice, flew out to center and then struck out his last time up. So 0 for 3 on the day, swings through that pitch. 0-2 the count. That one gets away from Clark Peterson. Allows Severson to move on down to second base. Runner in scoring position now with 2 out and a 1-2 count on Moss. Sidearm delivery in the dirt. Good block by Peterson this time. The Jelly could not get Moss to chase there, so 2-2 the count now. Right back to the mound and catches the outside corner for strike three. Good work by Reed Jelly through the tough part of Northfield's order. And after 6, it remains 6-4. Knights in the lead. Down to the top of the 7th inning we go. John Ludwig still on the mound for Northfield as Thatcher is going to try to bunt his way on, and Kevin, who has struck out the previous 2 times at the plate, will reach. We'll see what they call that. Probably a single. So good idea there by Hatcher. And Ludwig has 13 strikeouts coming into this inning. Hatcher a victim twice. They're going to give him a hit, as they should. Whatever works. They're still only down by 2 here. Plenty of outs to work with. And now Carter Beck, been on base all 3 times, has 3 of the 4 runs scored today for East Grand Forks. So Ludwig will do what he can. Battle Beck again here. 2 singles and a walk. And Beck gets around those bases pretty quick. 0-1 the count after the foul ball. going to be a tough play, and they will get the lead runner at second. So good play there. Thomas Meelan, kind of a squibber out there. Didn't have a lot on it. But Hatcher not quite as fleet of foot as Beck, so they get the lead runner, one out. And now Beck on first.
Catcher, Clark Peterson.
Going to bring up Clark Peterson. Peterson, first pitch swinging high, pop-up. Dean will give away to Meelan. So one pitch, one out there. And it's now two outs for Ludwig. He'll take that, definitely. Keeping Beck at first, probably most important. That'll bring up Reed Jelly. Dangerous. The most dangerous hitter here in East Grand Forks lineup. Going to look to square one up here. I don't know if Ludwig will give him much. He got him on that curveball last time up. Flew out to left field. That one fouled back quickly. 0-2 hole for Reed. Reed Jelly getting started this game in center, then came in to pitch in the fourth inning. Has done a pretty good job here. Sac fly RBI in the first. Single, stole a base, scored a run in the third. Trying to get his team right back into it here in the seventh as Beck is on the move, and he'll be in with another stolen base, his second steal of the contest. Your manager, Clark Peterson, you're pretty happy to have your leadoff guy wreaking havoc out there like he has. And once again in scoring position. Your best hitter at the dish. Can they cash in the 1-2 pitch? On the outside, Beck. He's going to take third there. Wow, aggressive base running. We've seen that from Beck here today. His last time up, he got on with a walk and then took third base on a pass ball. There's absolutely no hesitation from him out there, daring Moss to throw it to third. So now he sits 90 feet away as it's 2-2 the count, 2 outs here. Ludwig goes way inside. Full count now on Jelly. High fly ball. That one's going to get out of play. Just beyond the tree in right field. Going to remain a full count. Swing and a miss, and a huge strikeout for Ludwig as he works out of the jam against Jelly. Going to remain 6-4. We head to the bottom of the seventh. Seventh inning stretch time. Nice rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Fans in attendance. Standing. And honoring tradition. As we move to the bottom of the seventh inning here, Northfield with a 6-4 lead. Reed Jelly came on in the fourth inning for East Grand Forks. He works quickly, and quickly strike one on Sam Moss, the catcher for Northfield. Oh, Moss timed that one up. He likes it. High fly to left. Looks like it's going to stay in the park, and it will. Getting underneath that one, Cade Spencer to make the play for one out. Moss got a pretty good swing there. Again, Jelly works quickly out there. So to recap this contest, East Grand Forks up 1-0, taking a early lead in this game. Northfield, aided by 2 errors, led 2-1, coming back in the bottom half of the first with 2 runs. So they led 2-1 after 1, then 3-1 after 3. But a rally for East Grand Forks to tie things 3-all before Northfield spotted 3 in the bottom of the fourth inning. And John Matheson has 14 strikeouts on the mound for Northfield on the other end. And here East Grand Forks again playing with just 9 players. Only 9 players made the trip for this contest. And Jelly, the second pitcher, gave up 1 RBI single right away when he came in, but since then, it's really settled in. 2-1 count now. Not Eric Pittman, the left fielder. Pittman 0 for 2 with a walk in the first inning. Pittman just went into left. That'll be foul. Count is now full. Jelly with 2 strikeouts in the 6th inning, the top half of Northfield's order as well. So he's done well, and he comes right back here and strikes out Pittman for out number 2. So he is settled in nicely on the mound for the Mass, keeping them squarely in this contest. At times when you watch Ludwig out there, and if you look at the stat sheet, see 14 Ks. I'm going to think dominant, but East Grand Forks put together 7 hits. They're still only down by 2 with 6 outs to go here. On the count now. Troy Eden, the player manager, playing third base here today. Troy is 0 for 3. Inside, 2-1 the count. Troy follows that one on a play, 2-2. Count with 2 outs. That slow spinner likes to throw he can really slow it down, Reed can, off the mound, that off-speed pitch. Deaton tried to time it, but fouls it off, so it's still 2-2. Right back up the middle, and Deaton's going to be on. That one just got past the diving. So, Salcedo at second base, and it went right over Reed Jelly's head on the mound too. Saw its way past 2 East Grand Forks defenders into center field, and Troy's got his first hit of the game with 2 outs. He's on first base, and up comes Sam Stockmeyer, who's 0 for 2. He walked his last time up. In that sidearm delivery, nice play at third, a strong throw to get Stockmeyer for the third out, and that'll do it for 7 innings, through 7 innings here at Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee. It's 6-4, Northfield in the lead.
What's special about high school sports? The passion, the excitement, the memories.
Down on 3 in the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community, connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
We've got a new pitcher for the Northfield Knights. Great job by John Matheson. 14 strikeouts here in the state tournament through 7 innings. Does leave, though, with the 4 runs scored by East Grand Forks. Also, the Mass able to put together 7 hits. So, but overall, those 14 strikeouts look pretty good there for Ludwig. Did a great job. And Jake Matheson from second base now takes over pitcher. In relief here, he'll try to, I assume, get the final 6 outs here against East Grand Forks. Matheson, a little heat on that one. Eric Pittman will now move to second base. We also have a new left fielder that we'll get you that here when we can. Try to keep up with all the changes. And the ground ball to short. Meelan makes the play to first. And that takes care of Neil Nagel in the 8th inning. So Matheson, so far so good. 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Northfield has actually been held scoreless for 3 straight innings. East Grand Forks hasn't scored since the 5th. You wondered, with just 9 players making the trip here for East Grand Forks, if Northfield might just come down to them just trying to outlast the Mass here today. And they get 5 more outs without allowing East Grand Forks to do any damage. Then they will move on to the second weekend here in the Class B bracket. 1-1 the count now. Scott Mortensen, he's had a good game here. Playing a really good third base over there for East Grand Forks. He's also 1 for 2 with a walk in the first inning. And in the third, a big 2-run single for him. And he goes down swinging. So Matheson comes in throwing strikes. He's got 2 quick outs. And right fielder Kobe Tweeden will step in now for the Mass. Tweeden on the day. 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. 2-0 count now on Tweeden. Oh, and he squares that one up. Hit to the gap. That's going to be a tough play. If it stays in the park, and it won't, it's gone. A solo shot for Tweeden. And East Grand Forks pulls within 1 run. 6-5 now the score. Kobe Tweeden knocks that one out of the park. Matheson dispatches the first 2 runners with ease, but Tweeden, it's a good swing on that one, and he pulls East Grand Forks to within a run. 6-5 now the score, and here is Cade Spencer. We'll see if the bottom half of this lineup could get something going here for East Grand Forks. Cade Spencer is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Saw Kevin Hatcher, the number 9 hitter, after striking out the first 2 times. He bunted his way on. Spencer swings through that pitch. Now 1-2. Matheson's got him right where he wants him. Try to get out of this one. And Northfield maintain that 1-run lead. He reared back and threw that one pretty hard, but a bit low. 2-2 the count. Oh, on the inside corner. Catches him looking. Matheson, it's out of the inning, but the Tweeden home run pulls East Grand Forks back within 1 run. We head to the bottom of 8, 6-5. Knights still in the lead. We're ready to go here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Northfield trying to hold off East Grand Forks here as Reed Jelly comes out for another inning of relief. Now into his 4th inning here. Jelly again has done a really nice job of keeping this Northfield lineup in check. Came up an RBI single right away, but since then, he's done a really nice job settling in. Now batting is number 10, Zach Walton. And Walton came in as the Knights made a pitching change, and he smacks that one. He hit his center field for a single. Walton, the left fielder now. And he promptly singles the end of the contest. We go back to the top of the lineup now. Jake Matheson, who moved into the pitching spot, moved in from second base. Matheson has been really, really good here today. And Walton will scurry down to second. Peterson does throw it down there, but it bounces well after Walton was in to second. Assuming it was a pass ball there, and we have a 1-0 count now on Matheson, who has scored 3 runs here today. Reached on an error, walked, RBI single. He did fly out his last time up. 3 of the 6 runs scored by the leadoff hitter. Now he's got a runner on second. A chance to get that run back. And East Grand Forks pushed across. The Colby Tweeden solo shot as Tweeden will chase that one down near the bullpen. But it's out of play, 2-1 the count. They announced that that's the first run of our home run of the Class B state tournament. Colby tweeting. Remember, there was a game last night, suspended in the 6th inning. Chanhassen with that 6-2 lead over St. Michael. They'll finish that Sunday, then play the winner of this contest right here. Jelly tries to hit the outside corner, doesn't get the call, doesn't like it, but a 3-1 count on Matheson. No, just on the inside, Matheson couldn't barrel that one up, so Spencer will haul that in left field. One out now with Walton still on second base.
Shortstop Thomas Whelan.
And here is Thomas Meelan. Also reached on an error in the first, then a single and a double. He scored twice. Got 1 RBI, struck out against Jelly. His last time up in the 6th inning. Quickly in an 0-1 hole. Jelly pushes that one across the outside corner. Now on the inside corner, 0-2. Fouled away, stays 0-2. So pitching obviously in tournaments an issue. East Grand Forks, their top pitcher, Connor Richardson, pitches at Crookston. So many of these guys, the feeder system comes from Clark Peterson. Reed Jelly, a great player for Crookston. But due to COVID, he's not able to travel as this one's fisted into center, tracking that one down. And making the throw in is Neil Nagel. Walton thought about tagging, but good play there by Nagel, and we've got 2 outs here. Walton still standing on second base. And Alden Severson. So again, the top third of this batting order here for Northfield. Severson with 3 straight singles and 3 RBIs to open things up for him. He did reach on an error his last time, and they're going to intentionally walk him. So let's not deal with Alden. Go to Tim Moss instead. Moss is 0 for 4. He did have an RBI and a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. They feel a little bit better about facing Tim Moss in this situation than they do Alden Severson. And Moss says, take that, a 3-run shot to the pine trees in left field. The intentional walk backfires, and Moss gives Northfield some cushion in the bottom of the 8th inning.
361.
9-5 now the lead here. We'll update our scoreboard, get that back in order for you.
Catchy sad ball.
So Moss with a 3-run shot. 9-5 lead here in the 8th. And now it's Sam Moss. And is that one gone? No, a foul ball. So Moss.
For that home run, Jim Moss, of course, will get a free digital deal from Shockey Ball. And it's $50 for the Shockey Baseball Association High School Baseball.
So Tim Moss, again, the intentional walk to Alden Severson, and Tim Moss, on the first pitch he sees from Reed Jelly, knocks that one deep beyond the pine trees and left, and a 9-5 score now. Capping off potentially a fun and eventful state tournament game here. Really for both teams. Northfield has seen a little bit of everything from their pitcher striking out 14 batters, their starting pitcher, to 3-run homer here in the 8th inning as the fly to short will end it in the 8th inning here at Schlepper Stadium. We head to the 9th. Northfield will look to close it out. They're now a 4-run lead over East Grand Forks. Northfield with a little breathing room as we head to the top of the 9th inning. And Jake Matheson will try to close things out. Man, it's been a good ball game here at East Grand Forks. 9 guys come down, make the trip, and here they are hanging tough with a tournament-savvy Northfield squad making a 4th straight trip to the Class B tournament here. And just 9 guys standing tall here. They were within a run in the 8th inning until Tim Moss's 3-run jack to potentially put an exclamation point here on what Northfield is hoping is a first-round victory in the Class B tournament bracket. Matheson also a favorable part of the lineup here to start the 9th inning. Victor Saucedo, he has struck out 3 times here today. Up next is Kevin Hatcher, who's struck out twice. Hatcher did get on with a bunt single his last time up. And Carter Beck will get another at bat here, and he has been best hitter for East Grand Forks here this afternoon. Saucedo hangs tough. 1-2 the count on the second baseman for East Grand Forks. Their first year of existence as the Mass. And Saucedo to right field. It will not drop in, however, as chasing that one down for the first out is Sam Stockmeyer. 1 down now for Kevin Hatcher, who started the game pitching for East Grand Forks. He had his moments, did a good job keeping the Mass in the contest. Moved over to first base, and as mentioned, had a bunt single his last time up. His first 2 at-bats he struck out. And 2-0 the count now. Again, Matheson, he came in on in relief the 8th inning. Gave up the home run to Colby Tweet, and other than that is held East Grand Forks in check, relieving John Ludwig, who struck out 14 batters. That one fisted, sounded like the bat broke. And we've got 2 outs. Thomas Muehlin easily handling that one. And with 2 outs, Carter Beck, the Mass shortstop, back to the plate. He has been on all 4 times. 2 singles, a walk, fielder's choice. He's got 2 stolen bases and 3 runs scored in this contest. So if you're down to your final out in your East Grand Forks, this is probably the guy you want at the dish. That ball fouled off into the parking lot. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. It's Grand Forks down to its final out, down 4 runs. Back hangs tough on that one again, fouls it out of play. 1-2 the count now. And back up the middle. Why not? Beck says we're not done yet. He is on the 5th time today. Yet another hit for Carter.
Catcher, Clark Peterson.
And that'll bring up catcher, player manager, Clark Peterson. Clark has struck out twice here today. Does have an RBI double. He digs in against Matheson. Kind of a check swing. Ball hits his bat, though, so it's 0-1. An interesting situation here. Matheson, a pretty hard thrower, so the ball is getting to the dish quick. Beck, a menace on the base pass. Will he try to take second base? He won't need to here as Peterson fished that one into center field. Back-to-back hits. East Grand Forks trying to rally here. Runners on first and second now with 2 out. And up comes Reed Jelly. Got the impression Reed himself still waiting to kind of have one of those big games, square one up is what he said. Yet to barrel one up. Struck out his last time up. He does have a single and a stolen base and a run scored. That came back in the 3rd inning. Hard-throwing Matheson, the former Division II superstar from Crookston at the dish. Remember, he batted .439 his junior year of college, played in the Northwoods League. If there's anybody that can get these guys right back into it, it's Reed. Swung on and missed, 1-1 the count. Now, Reed actually got a piece of that one. I think he's going to go get a new piece of lumber. Maybe broke the handle of the bat there. Nope. The bat slipped. So he wants a little assistance with the grip here, perhaps. Reed knowing it's a big moment. Now he's done well. He came on and pitched starting in the 4th inning. Such a great job until Moss squared him up with that 3-run shot in the 8th. Give Northfield this 4-run cushion. A chance to get them right back in it. 2 on, 2 out. Pitch is low. 2-1 the count. That one thrown right in there. Fastball from Matheson, 2-2 the count. And we have a full count now. Matheson being a little bit careful here, no understanding who's at the dish. On deck is Neil Nagel. And he gets him to end the contest. And Northfield will move on to round 2 of the Class B tournament as Matheson strikes out Jelly. And it's a 9-5 victory for the Northfield Knights.
No errors, a 2-left out, and final score, Northfield 9. East Grand Forks 5.
A quick recap here before we go.
Northfield
Northfield fell behind early, then took a 3-1 lead, only to see East Grand Forks battle back to tie it at 3. And a 3-run bottom of the 4th inning created a little bit of separation. East Grand Forks playing catch-up from there on out. They got within a run. Kobe Tweeton's solo shot. That came in the 8th inning, the top of the 8th. But in the bottom, Tim Moss answered with a 3-run job of his own. And John Ludwig, the starting pitcher, 14 strikeouts for Northfield. And Jake Matheson coming in to close it out the final 2 innings. Northfield moves on to round 2. That'll be next week. They will play the winner of the yet-to-be-completed game from last night. That was Chanhassen and St. Michael. And again, that game was 6-2. Chan had the lead as they suspended play, so they'll have to wait to Sunday night to finish that one out here at Shepler Stadium, and that'll complete that top of the bracket here in Class B. So we thank you so much for joining us for this presentation of State Amateur Baseball on PrepSpotlight.tv. We're going to step away and come back with game number 2 here this afternoon from Shepler Stadium. That's going to be a good one. The Dundas Dukes taking on the Chaska Cubs. That up next. So stay with us and check out that game, and we'll be here all afternoon, and as well as the Class A and Class C tournaments as well. Signing off for now, I am Eric Murphy. Have a good rest of your afternoon, everybody.